Team Skills for Process Improvement, Unit 1 of 8, Building Effective Teams, Part 4 of 7. Organizational culture. First, what do we mean by culture? A pattern of basic assumptions invented, discovered, or developed by a given group as it learns to cope with its problems of external adaptation and internal integration that has worked well enough to be considered valid and taught to new members as the correct way to perceive, think, feel in relation to those problems. This is one definition of organization culture. There are many others. James Harrington, in his book Excellence the IBM Way, defines culture as the sum total of an organization's history, beliefs, traditions, successes, and failures. We might say that an organizational culture consists of the unwritten rules that work behind the scene, shared values, beliefs, norms, expectations, the flavor of the organization, the formal and informal ways things get done. Inherent in the definition presented here is an intangible feeling. We can't reach out and touch culture, but we can certainly see its effects at work. The basic approach leaders take to troubleshooting goals, to establishing goals, developing time-phased action plans to meet those goals, and identifying and evaluating opportunities and methods for implementation of those actions is a reflection of the organization's culture. Culture represents the shared beliefs held by top leaders and managers concerning how they should manage and conduct business. While these beliefs are invisible, they have a major impact on thoughts and actions. Dr. Ralph Kilman, director of the program in corporate culture at the Katz Graduate School of Business, University of Pittsburgh, has specialized in human behavior in organizations for the past 20 years. He believes that leaders typically like to focus energy on tangible things like structure, plans, vision, and procedures, and ignore the intangibles like communication, relationships, values, and morale. Usually, leaders will announce changes in organization charts, publish a new vision, revise corporate goals, and then state how everyone is a partner and empowered to participate in the new organization. The culture, people skills, communication, and teamwork required to make changes are often ignored. These same leaders are then surprised and frustrated by the lack of progress that is being made toward transforming the organization. Ways to assess culture. Number one, interview people who have worked in the organization for a long time. One of the ways to gain insight into the organization's culture is to ask those who have worked in the organization a long time a few questions. These questions might include: what must you do to maintain your career in this organization? What does the boss really want? What are the organization's taboos, sacred cows, sacred cows, cliques, and rivalries? Who holds the power? What does it take to get ahead? How do you stay out of trouble? What does the organization really value? Number two, use a climate survey. A more systematic method of assessing culture is to administer a professionally prepared climate survey. Climate may be thought of as the visible and measurable aspects of the organization's culture. Climate survey provide us with data on many aspects of the organization, including team cohesion, trust, conflict, and leadership support. The data obtained from the survey will describe the present climate and answer the question, where are we now? You need to have some sort of starting point or baseline to know whether you are making any progress. The results of the climate survey can be used for planning the steps required to align both the intangible and tangible pieces of the organization's transformation. Once we have a feel for where the organization is, we can begin to take those actions that will move the culture toward where we want to be. This cultural transformation begins to lay the groundwork for successful teams, while at the same time, working in teams begins to change the culture of the organization. What kinds of cultural values do you think an organization needs to support TQM? If an organization focuses only on concerns that are internal, they lose sight of the big picture, namely, that the reason an organization exists is to serve and satisfy customers. We need to create a customer focused mindset and a culture in which quality is not just the absence of defects, but the presence of value.